So here it is, just straight off the cuff. Chad, welcome to our family. It's kind of crazy at times. It's big and it's loud, it's boisterous, but I think you'll fit in real well. Everybody, enjoy, have a good time tonight, and drink up. Thank you.
Let's get counted. Same dinner.
Is that for their benefit or mine?
Ours.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to admit the same thing. I didn't know I was going to do this, so I'll be real brief. You know. Say it. Thank you. First of all, thank everybody. I mean, some of you folks came a long way for this, so I mean, geez, what a great party. You know, I mean, you folks, you kids should be just tickled to death that you have so many friends and people for this. So for that, thank you. When it comes to you two, you know, I'm not real sure. You definitely, Stephanie, are the lucky one. You know, I'm telling you right up front, you are the lucky one. Okay, Chad, you know, you gotta keep an eye on her. But her and I, we had a little meeting here just a little while ago, and her stock went through the roof. Okay, because she told me, with no uncertain terms, that there's a little granddaughter in my future. Okay? No, I didn't mean it that way. No, that was second on the list. Was no, I didn't mean it that way. No. She assured me that. She did. Okay, let me back down just a little bit. She assured me when the time come, there was a granddaughter in my future. Does that sound better? Is that better? Okay, all right. So that's what I meant. For you that didn't took it the other way. Jesus. But not that that wasn't serious, but to a serious note, welcome to the family. You know, I'm kind of like your dad. You know, if you don't know what you're getting into now, it's way too late, okay? But I will share one thought with you, just between you and I. You know, when the honeymoon's over and you're kind of sitting there going, what did I do? 30 years from now, guess what? You get this. This is what it's all right here. You get this. So congratulations, kids. Love you both.
I love it. I'll take
All right. I don't know if I can top the whole granddaughter thing, but we'll give it a shot. Obviously, just want to share a few thoughts and make a couple toasts, so we'll get to drink through this, I promise. First, for good measure, I have to do this. You have to drink, and we have to drink. Okay, here we go, to the bride and groom. I wanted to thank everyone for coming, but from a different angle. This is to make Stephanie's dream come true today. So, because I've known her for about 13 years, I can assure you that she's the girl that has been dreaming about this day since she was a child. Although this isn't the childhood backyard with the dandelion tiara and the grapevine altar, she's been married about 10 or 12 times. But this is a toast to Chad and Stephanie for Chad being the one and only groom. So there's another toast you can drink. But I do want to end with sharing a little story and setting something straight. I'll start by explaining how the blind date happened. As some of you've probably read on the internet, we were eating lunch one day at a Mexican restaurant, Chad with his cheeseburger and fries, with some folks from work, and discovered that Chad had actually worked at Bath & Body Works. So at first I thought, what a great match that might be, but then I had to stop and think that maybe he's not the kind of guy that would be interested in meeting my friend. After I got over that, we set up a date, and of course, it was a match. We thought maybe they could talk about their favorite candle flavors and favorite lotion flavors, but nonetheless, the day went really well, and it was one of those moments where you just know that there's something special happening. The song that you all heard on the internet was the song that he played at that date and talked about it being in his wedding, so it just felt like this night would happen. So it was so sweet, and we knew that it was special, and I'm trying to hold it together here. But in the end, Chad wrote on the internet that we were responsible for this marriage, and we are not. We have a slight responsibility for setting you up. You are responsible for falling in love, and you are responsible for this day and this marriage. So here's to Chad and Stephanie. Many happy years. We wish you all the happiness, and I love you both.
All right, I know I'm not the maid of honor, but I am the groom's favorite sister, so I guess I get to talk too. I was saying before the reception started to some of the groomsmen that, like Stephanie, Chad has dreamed about this day his whole life. He dreamed about his wedding more than any other little girl I've ever met. It's pathetic, I'll be honest. No, I'm serious. For the last few weeks leading up to today, I've been considering my friendship with my brother quite a bit, and I think that statement really sums up my relationship with Chad. He's one of my best friends, not just a sibling. Last week I was watching TV and the movie Shrek came on, and I thought to myself, Chad is sort of like Shrek, the big green ogre. There's a line in the movie that says, ogres are like onions. Onions have layers, and ogres have layers. On the outside, Chad is big and intimidating. He might even look a little bit mean, but for those of us that are lucky enough to know him, we know there are lots of layers. A lot of the people in this room remember Chad as the high school football star who's still living in his Shanoa glory days. Some of his college buddies and high school buddies, even though he wasn't old enough, might remember him as the guy who could single-handedly drink enough beer to inebriate this entire room. Josh and some of the other college friends might remember Chad as the fraternity president who may have gotten his fraternity into some trouble in Eureka College. And then some of you also might know Chad as the guy who sent out fake Christmas cards for multiple years. Have any of you guys gotten Christmas cards from the Whitmores? So yeah, that's Chad. But then again, some people know him on a different level. I think Ben might remember the night that they were snowed in and they decided to write their own stories to be published in Chicken Soup for the Soul. A select few people might know that Chad has spent the last year or two volunteering as a big brother for an underprivileged child in Decatur. A very, very select few might know that every year, instead of buying Christmas presents for his family, or me, Chad chooses to take that money and find a family who needs it and actually gives the money to them to give their children a better Christmas. To me, he's all of those things, but he's also the guy I know who can drive around and listen to hours and hours of the sappiest country music you've ever heard. He is the brother who so kindly would let me help him and Clint in their car cleaning business. I would scrub out cars for hours, and they never even insulted me by offering to pay me for my time. But to me, he's the brother who, on the day my son was born, he drove 4 hours to see me in the hospital, to hold my baby for 20 minutes, and then turn around and drive 4 hours home. Chad, you're good. You're good. Stephanie, that being said, I think you're nuts. I mean, you're nuts. He's the most stubborn, anal, obsessive, picky person I've ever met. A couple years ago, Chad called me out of the blue and said, Jen, pack your bags. We're going to Niagara Falls. Meet me in Indiana in 2 hours. I was like, absolutely not. Are you on drugs? You know what Stephanie said? Should I pick 4 or 5 pairs of socks? You keep up with his nutty spontaneity, you think he's funny, and you love him when he is unlovable. From the minute you came into our family, I knew that you were a perfect fit, Stephanie. I'm glad that I can officially call you my sister. All right, so Chad and Stephanie, I'll cut it short. There's a lot of speeches, you guys. I'm sorry, but...
Why is there a lot of speeches?
Why? Because my brother cannot choose one best friend, so he has chosen 5, and they've all said things. So please, if you need a drink, get it now, because we're gonna talk. So anyway, raise your glasses. We're all gonna be drunk by the time we're done with toast. To Chad and Stephanie.
Hey! When's the intermission?
How's everybody doing? You know how important this speech is going to be to Chad, so I put my heart and soul into preparing for this. How's everybody doing? My name is Nick Higgs. I am a close friend to the groom and one of the best men, one of the 5. I want to welcome and thank everybody for coming today to join Chad and Stephanie on this special day. I want to thank the bride, the groom, and their families for making this wonderful day possible. Stephanie, you look beautiful tonight. I just want to say that. You know, sorry about that.
Stay between the speakers.
You're very fun. You're very thoughtful. You're the nicest person I ever met, and I just want to say you're perfect for Chad. Chad, you're good at poker. So. No, seriously, you're a great friend, Chad. Me and Chad had a lot of fun together. He's a lot of people know him for how fun and spontaneous he is. One time, it was a Friday at work, and Chad called me about 4 o'clock, and he says, "What are you doing this weekend?" I said, "I don't know." He says, "Well, let's go to Mississippi tonight." I said, "Well, how far a drive is that?" "Well, about 7 hours." He says, "Leave Bloomington, get to my house at 6. We leave at 6. We get there at 2 in the morning. We play at the casino all night. We'll get comp hotels. It'll be great." I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, let's do it." I said, "Okay." So I drove all the way to Mattoon. We drove all the way to Mississippi. Got there at 2 in the morning, okay? We lost all our money by 4 in the morning. None of the casinos would comp us. Now it's mid-February, freezing out. We're both sleeping in the car, 2 big guys like me and him, snoring. It was a terrible sight, but the point of the story is we still had fun with that day, even though it sounds terrible. So we make the best out of every situation. That's one great thing about Chad. You know, I've been married for 7 years. I have not came close to mastering the art of marriage, Chad. But I am going to give you some tips, okay? Since you are a poker player, okay? I'm going to use poker terms here, okay? Clean up the house.
Yes.
Pick up your towels.
Yes.
Okay, do the dishes. That's about equal to a full house, okay? Love her, care for her, and always be there for her. That's about equal to a 4 of a kind, okay? Never fold. With your love for her, you need to be all in. Laying in her is the true royal flush.
Aww.
Everybody raise your glasses to Chad and Stephanie.
Hello, everyone. My name's Dale. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank everybody for doing a great job tonight. It's been a fun weekend, and it's not about to end. But I want to talk about Chad and Stephanie. I've only known Chad and Stephanie. I haven't known Chad or I haven't known Stephanie. I've only known Chad and Stephanie. So I'm talking to both from what I know. Denise and I are happy to share this special occasion with the 2 of you. I could stand here and share many memories of Chad and all of our projects, like putting in floor or putting a shop vac on a water line and shooting water everywhere. I could share some things that should probably remain unknown, although it would be good for a few laughs. But I've known you together as a couple longer than I knew Chad, so I choose to share my blessings with the both of you. Chad, Stephanie, you have a foundation to last a lifetime. And here are a few words of wisdom. never go to bed mad, always say I love you before you leave, and on the phone, touch each other often, share and embrace at least several times a day, make time for date night, candlelight, and weekend getaways every now and then. You guys are famous for those, so don't let those stop. Pray for the Lord's help when you don't think you can forgive. Know that you can weather any storm together. Stay in good health so you can grow old and share this love with generations and children. Remember this day, always, and the promise you made. We pray that this marriage gives more love than your heart can hold. And decades from now, when it comes time to see our Father in heaven, that you do so peacefully in each other's arms. Join me and raise your glass for Mr. and Mrs. Jack Clevenger.
I don't know if I can read any of this, but I'm going to give it a shot. Hi, I'm Josh McKee, for those of you that don't know me. I'm Chad's buddy from college. Chad, using the term Chad has taken a little getting used to. In college, I didn't even know his first name was Chad. Everyone called him Clevy or Meathead. And I believe he even dubbed himself CC Smooth for the ladies. What I've always liked about Chad is that he, when he decides to do something, he gives 100% of what he has, devotes all his time and energy towards that goal. You pretty much have to go along with whatever he says because, one, he's more stubborn than you. I'm really stubborn, but he blows me away. And two, he gets so excited about everything he does that you can't help but get excited for him. I've got a few examples of this. In college, and even today, it's the famous road trips. Everybody's going to talk about those, and then another thing, just his obsessive behavior with NCAA football, 1999 on the PlayStation. He panned through all the plays till he found the one play that would work against a computer every time, and chant out ILLINI. No one else in his room, just him and the computer talking trash to the computer. And then also those late night study sessions in Chad's room, not for homework, but to search through the Eureka College bylaws for those loopholes. For the 17 motions to dismiss the Eureka College's formal complaint against our fraternity. And sometimes his efforts, his energy, a little misguided though too. Like the time we went to Cheryl's place in Roanoke, which is a local establishment, a little bar, and he talked me into, he was so excited about it too. I can't believe, I must have had a few too many beers. He talked me into tasering each other. I don't understand that. But I went along with it. I kind of regret it now. And then there was also a time, we were sitting in his room, we were a little bored, and we decided to watch a movie. And he searched through all the movies, found one I hadn't seen. It's like, man, this is the greatest movie of all time. You gotta watch it. It's Lock Up with Sylvester Stallone. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but it comes highly recommended by the groom. So go rent it at your local stores if they still have it. Basically, Sylvester Stallone, not a good actor, as everyone knows, but he does well in the Rambo and Rocky type roles where there's a lot of action and he doesn't have to say too much. Well, in this role, he goes to prison, gets hooked up with other inmates, works on a car, turns a wrench to some great 80s ballads, and drives a car out into the prison yard, and that's basically it. It's like, wow, I kept expecting that to get great. I mean, it was the greatest movie of all time. And afterwards, Chad was like, well, I'm really sorry. I remember that movie being a lot better than that. So I guess what we can all learn from this is that we can all be sure that Chad's going to devote 100% of what he has towards his marriage. And but from here on out, just let Stephanie pick out the movies. Okay? So I love both of you. To Chad and Stephanie, may you guys love each other with more every day.
Yeah, wake him up.
Yeah. Is there anybody else after me? All right, we got one back there. Unlike the rest of these people, I really didn't prepare for this, and it's gonna show. Okay?
You worked for like 3 hours last night.
No. This is on a cocktail napkin I just wrote down over there. And I don't know if anybody knows me here, but I'm from California. I just flew in today, and man, my arms are tired. My wife loves that one, and thanks, Joe Conroy. He helped me out with that one. But here we go. Really, I'm not a public speaker, and it's going to be terrible. It's going to be rough. But the maid of honor was talking about Bed Bath & Beyond, or Bath & Body Works, actually, and that reminded me of a story of Chad that I just want to bring up real quick. It wasn't in my cocktail napkin here, but one time when I was in the service, and Chad was one of my best friends, and I was home for a weekend, and Chad wanted to come over and hang out with me, and he asked his boss if he could have the weekend off, and they said no, and Chad said, well, my friend's home from the Marines, I'm going to need the weekend off. And they said, well, if you need the weekend off, then don't come back on Monday. And Chad didn't go back. That was the end of it. And we have such a strong friendship, I know he'd do that again for me today if I was home. I know he'd give up his job for me, isn't that right? But it's really been an honor being Chad's friend. We really became friends when I was a senior in high school, and we were on the football team. I didn't go out all 4 years like the rest of these guys did, but Chad made me feel like a part of the team, and it was an honor to be such a good friend to one of the great athletes on Fieldcrest. And it really is an honor to this day to be a friend with him and a part of this wedding. And hold on one second. I got some things here I want to finish up with, but I hope you and Stephanie enjoy a lifetime of happiness. And the only advice I could give you, I heard Stephanie say this earlier. I thought I had something clever to say, but Stephanie already said it. Was happy wife, happy life. And Stephanie already heard it, so it really brought down my spirits. But anyway, let's raise a glass to Chad and Stephanie. And the last speech. And the last speech. No, I mean, there's one more.
Oh, we were preparing for the last.
Oh, we were preparing for the last speech. He didn't raise his hand when I asked if there was any more speakers. Oh boy.
Well, I'll try to make it quick because I know everybody's tired of hearing everybody talk, but I met Chad as a freshman in high school at Fieldcrest. We consolidated, and from then on, Chad and I were inseparable. We did everything together. Starting with football, that was the main thing. We loved it. That was all we thought about. We were going to play in the NFL. Everything was going to work out. And quickly after high school, we realized that wasn't going to happen. So we started cleaning cars. And let me tell you, that was not fun. But we did it, and we made a little money at it. And And it just seemed like we kept following each other. So whatever one of us would do, then the other would do. So we moved on to golf. We decided, well, we like golf. So, well, why don't we get a golf job or a golf job at the golf course? Then we'll have a free membership and we can play golf every day after work. So that was our next job. Worked out fabulous, but we realized we were going nowhere fast. So we moved on to our third job together. Well, we actually didn't end up doing it together, but Chad wanted to be a male dancer. So he started that career at my bachelor party, and I went to jail for it. It was a short-lived career. So after that, we decided maybe we shouldn't be working together. We maybe need to go our own ways and just keep in touch. But all joking aside, never met a guy with more passion. If this guy wants to do something, I guarantee it'll get done. And I see that with Stephanie. And they're going to have a great life together. So wish them the best. And let's have a cheer.
Now we're done. Music. Music.